People, Deluded, I'm back again. Thank you very much for tuning in each and every time. Good morning, and I hope you're all doing well and safe and the rest of it. What was I going to say? There's some rumours or just some speculation in relation to Arsenal, so we might as well speak about it. Now, first and foremost, I believe that both the Daily Mail, well, in fact, only the Daily Mail is saying Arsenal will aim to conclude their early transfer business. Let me start that again. I actually can't read. Arsenal will aim to conclude early transfer business this summer amid concerns they could be priced out of the market during Euros 2020. Arteta's side are prioritising a central creative midfielder, box-to-box midfielder, and a central defender. So that's essentially 3 signings, people. And again, how many times have I sat here and said we need 2 midfielders? In fact, the videos that I've brought out the last couple of days have echoed such. We need some creativity in the side. First and foremost, tactically, Arteta's moving towards that. We need to start scoring and taking chances and provoking them situations. But we need some creativity. The one man that you probably say has creativity in Mesut Ozil, the game's past him. We can't rely on him. Ceballos, I don't know what going, but he's not going to be here long term. Joe Willock, 3 managers this season have all played him in that advanced role. Do I think that's him? Do I think he's of the ability where he can do that? No, I think he'd be better in a pivot behind such. Emil Smith-Rowe, he can do that. He's gone out on loan. So there is a void. We need to move away from Ozil and poultry in motion. If we can find a central midfielder or again, we can't find Kevin De Bruyne, but he's the only one I can say to make this make sense in that he can obviously play in a 10, but he's primarily a central midfielder and he creates from such. If we can find that, we obviously need a number 6, someone who's box-to-box or composing that we can partner with Torreira or instead of Torreira, because when Torreira's not there, the pivots are down to a shambles. Do you get it? We need a centre-half. Difficult decisions are going to need to be made over the centre-halves because Pablo Mari's coming on loan, David Luiz, Socrates, Mustafi, Holding, Chambers, forgotten man, Mavropanos. There's too many centre-halves on the book. If another one came in tomorrow, that's 8 centre-halves. You only need about 5 in my opinion. 4, really, only 2 can play, but for depth purposes, for me, you need 4 minimum. 5 is perfect. You get what I'm saying? Because obviously you've got your 2 regulars, you've got a rotation option, you might have a third option that can press to start and whatnot, and then you need a couple others in case bodies drop. And I think for me, I'm going with, well, obviously Saliba goes without saying. I think Callum Chambers has deserved the spot. Holding probably calls for concerns and he's got to start showing something, but I'd move with Rob Holding. A new centre-half can come in. If I had to pick, because I don't think Mustafi, Luiz and Socrates will all leave because their contracts are all up in the same thing. I don't think they'll all leave. I'd probably keep Luiz because he seems to be Arteta's lieutenant. If all of them could leave, that would be good, but I'd probably keep Luiz, and then it's a toss-up really. So a tough decision has to be made. Obviously, to a degree, what we do in the Euros should have no relevance, or the Euros should have no relevance, because obviously, if we're targeting certain players and they're going to play at the Euros and they play well, their price tag is going to go up. Of course, people, that's 100% facts. But we should already, from September and that, we should be sitting there with prospective new players and their agents and saying, yo, summertime, having dinner and that. Like, yo, summertime, you're coming to us. We should have been doing our due diligence. We should have a list of boom, boom, boom. That's our plan A target, plan B, plan D, plan C in all these positions. We should be talking with agents and clubs and getting these things done now. So the Euros really shouldn't have any bearing, Carl. We should be doing our due diligence and moving fast anyways. In an ideal world, you do the bulk of your business, and then obviously with the Euros in mind, there could be 1 or 2 players that tickle your fancy you might want to bring in. And obviously, it don't really make sense, but let's just say we're taking long to sign people. We're going into the Euros. There's question marks over existing players' his future. There's question marks over who Arteta will have. It's difficult because if we don't bring in certain players and players are playing in the Euros, it could disrupt Arteta. Now, the good thing is I don't expect too many players to go to the Euros. Mustafi if he's still here, isn't going to go with Germany. Lacazette is not going to go with France unless something mad happens. Who else is from a European nation? Guendouzi, he's not going to get called up for France in my opinion. Holding, Chambers, Maitland-Niles, Joe Willock, all of these. Saka, I mean, Saka's probably got the brightest chances of all the young players for England, and I don't think he will get called up. So none of them are going to get called up for England. Martinelli's irrelevant from this. He's eligible for Italy, but he's not solving his international future yet. So he's quite, you could argue he is irrelevant to this of such. Who else is there? Leno obviously is going to go with Germany, someone that actually is going to go. I'm not sure if Greece are there. If so, obviously Socrates potentially will go. Kolasinac, I'm not sure on Bosnia's eligibility. I don't think Bellerin is going to go with Spain. Obviously Switzerland, Jacques are a key player of Arteta's. He is going to go. Ceballos isn't going to be here, but I think he goes with Spain. So you get the point. Like, really harping at straws. Not too many players are going to go. But listen, you have to. It's a big summer. Because the one thing with Wenger, Glazides, and all these people leaving now, we really have to see what man are on now. We know Arteta is going to go through good moments, bad moments, but he's shown that he's on something. But you need to help him, bring him in the areas he needs, flush out the players we don't need. Because we say this every summer, but it's a big summer. Regardless of what I feel about these players, the club needs to make a decision and stick to their guns over Lacazette because of the contract, Ozil because of his contract, Aubameyang because of his contract. All of the Mustafis, the Socrates, the David Luiz, all these guys that are contracted until 2021, decisions need to be made. Mkhitaryan and El Nene and players like that, they've gone on loan and clearly they're not part of the future, but really get them off the books. Get people off the books quickly, bring players in quickly, and allow Arteta as much time in pre-season as possible to continue implementing what he wants, because he's only one man. It does seem like a lot of our business is reactive, and that's where you're looking at the board. You're hearing we wanted Pablo Mari for months, and fair play, we did allegedly. But would we have pressed the issue? Would he have arrived if Chambers is, and again, I can't deal with ifs and buts, but if Chambers was fit, if we never had these injuries over several centre-half positions and we weren't down to our bare bones, despite the fact we evidently need a defender, would we have brought one in January? In my heart, I can't say yes, because we've been very reactive and not proactive. We need, in all aspects, we need to be proactive. And this is where Edu, Raul Sanye, Vinay, all these men there have to earn their stripes. Because this is not for Arteta. He's the coaching guy. He's to deal with the coaching thing. So it's down to them really to pull it out, if I'm completely honest with you people. We're really going to need to see that. But it's nice to see. Away from that, apparently 6 senior players, including top goal scorer. Oh, sorry, people. Exclusive. Apparently Mark Owen is saying, a journalist I assume, not sure where he thinks he's from, but he said, Arteta could axe Lacazette, Aubameyang and Ozil as unimpressed boss plans major Arsenal shake-up. And if he is, like I said, in an ideal world, we need to make a choice and stick to it. It's not going to send out a good message if all 3 left, but to a degree, if we're going with Raul Sanye's logic and their futures are still not resolved, all 3 need to leave. Mesut, we need to have a divorce. Again, I love the guy, but he's not for the future. Lacazette, I'd like him to stay, but at the end of the day, does he justify getting a wage increase? Does he justify tying him down long term at 28, 29, giving him that good deal until he's 32, where he would have to look for a new club and he would have that stability over them 4 years? He's not playing like such people. So there's that one. Aubameyang obviously is a quality player, but if he isn't going to sign, it is what it is. My personal thing is that I do think there's a case that 2 of the 3 can go, but in typical Arsenal fashion, I think all 3 or 2 of the 3 will definitely be here. Aubameyang probably be allowed to run out his contract. Mesut Ozil, you can't move him on. And Lacazette, I don't know if anyone's going to buy him really, because he's talked about Champions League football. Apparently, this gone on to say that 6 senior players, including top earners Aubameyang and Lacazette, are out of contract in less than 18 months. Head of football Raul Sanllehi has made it clear to Arteta that no one will be allowed to run their deals down, then leave as a free agent next year. I actually believe Aubameyang should be the only exception to that rule. If we get an offer, we've got a decision to make and sell him. You're still going to have to spend a big change to get someone who's going to replace his goals. But he is a difficult one, because you could look at it, yeah, you'd be losing 50 million minimum, potentially making your money back on Aubameyang. But if you really, let's take the Euros. If you bring in these players that you say you're going to bring in quickly and early, and Arteta's given a good play base to work with, and you've got a 20 league goal minimum striker in Aubameyang, and using him for a year at 31, 32, or what, he'd be 32 or maybe 33 by the time the end of the season comes. If you could use him for 1 more year to allow us to get top 4 with the improvements in the side and whatnot, and the financial rewards that comes with Europe, then you could argue that's our money well spent, and he's done his job and he could leave. Of course, I want to see finances for all players, but that's one way to look at it, because he gets 20 league goals minimum. Ozil is not giving us consistency from game in, game out. Lacazette, that's above his pay, that's above his ability really and truly to get the minimum of them goals. Apparently, it's gone on to say Arteta's been disappointed by the team's lack of progress since he was appointed several weeks ago. Now he believes his underperforming squad needs major surgery after assessing the weaknesses and strengths of the players he inherited from Una Emery. Well, that's clear. We do need it, people. You look at our, regardless of form, you look at our midfield, you look at, listen, there's no balance, there's no attacking play, we're not really defending like a quality side. We've improved from the crap we used to do, but we're not defending anything near what a quality side would defend like. Probably the most unbalanced side, the most uninspiring Arsenal side in how we play and beyond the names than we have. So major surgery is required, people, and it's nice to see allegedly we're in for that. The Telegraph is saying that Syed Ben Haram, if those of you that have watched him, he plays for Brentford. I believe he's in double figures for the campaign. Very much a typical player of East African heritage. I'm not too sure if he's from Algeria or Morocco. Forgive me if I'm wrong. I think it's Algeria. But I praise a lot of these players, because even from me playing in the cage, Algerian and Moroccan players, they're never basic. They've always got flair. You see what I'm saying? They always want to do skills and tricks and stuff. And he's very much that. He's very skillful. He's got double figures. Brentford are going to make decent money on him if they sell him, when they sell him to a promoted Premier League club or maybe a Prem club. We see a lot of men that are sick in the Championship and fail to make the grade in the Prem. But who knows, man? He's a decent player. Apparently Arsenal are looking at him, people, and it would tie into obviously our pursuit of Zaha last season. Now obviously I know you lot remember Zaha has changed agents. I wouldn't mind signing a top quality winger. You could say Zaha, because you could say Zaha is better than the wide options we have. In an ideal world, like I've said in a previous vid, I want to bring in a centre half, couple central midfielders and address them areas. And I'm actually happy with our wide options. But not just Zaha, but just to reiterate a point I said in the previous vid, if we've got money left over from doing our business early, and there's and circumstances and conditions present the opportunity to sign what I call a super player, someone that can lift his club, someone that can be a difference maker, someone that, for instance, is Martinelli's a bad boy, but someone that is better than Martinelli of today, someone that is a better option than Saka out wide, someone that is better than Reece Nelson, and obviously Pepe. If that becomes available, which some harsh critics could say, because of Arsenal been this season, that's not hard. If that becomes available, I think we've got to go and do it, people, really and truly. Out of all the positions, I don't think our wide options are all performing perfectly collectively, but that's the place where I feel less urgency. But if an opportunity comes, not just there, but in other areas if possible, if it comes, then I think we should take it, people, depending on what happens. Let's quickly browse around and see if there's any more news. If not, I'm going to let you guys get out of it. You already know, apparently we want Okan Koku from Feyenoord. You already know about that. Obviously today the boys will fly off to Dubai, and a number of players have been there already. I think Leno's technically been there on holiday, but in terms of training, in the pitch, I don't know if you lot can see it, but you can see Sead Kolasinac, Nusail Marie, and obviously Reece Nelson. Nelson and Kolasinac have obviously had injuries. Pablo Marie's just joined the club, and it's nice to see he's trying his best. Tierney's out there, as you lot know, away from the team. Allegedly, Tierney's doing outdoor work now, little ball exercises and little running exercises as he steps up his recovery. Shout out to Martinelli if I haven't said it as well, which I'm pretty sure I have in a previous vid, but he is one player of the month from an Arsenal perspective, and that young man has been nothing short of a revelation in which can only be described as a season to forget for us Gooners. But other than that, there's nothing more to add, so why waste any more of your time? As usual, people, it means the world that you lot mess with my content each and every time. Let me not do you lot any more disservice and get out of it. People, God bless. DG, I'm out.